Well, if you move into a new apartment, what right do you have to expect that the building will be safe? That's the question many Australians are asking themselves after cracks were discovered in a Sydney residential high-rise on Friday, causing the evacuation of over 100 people.
So is the building industry up to scratch? Chris Neeram is the National President of the Building Designers Association of Australia, and he joins us now. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We had the Opal Tower near Olympic Park. That was evacuated, and now we've got this one in Mascot being evacuated. What's going on?
Well, obviously there's issues with the building, but can I just start with saying that I think it's paramount that we ensure the safety of all the occupants and that we allow the authorities time to assess the structural integrity of the buildings, because a life is more important, and you can't replace a life, but you can repair a building. So I think we have to be calm in a situation like this, because I don't think this is going to be the last building we're going to see with cracks.
Why?
I think that over the time, the reason is that everything is being fast-tracked. Everything is trying to be finished faster today, and what we need to do is we need a reform. We need reforms to take place. We've got also the Shergold Weir report. So the government created an assessment in 2017, and a report was developed called the Shergold Weir report, of which 24 recommendations were put forward. Recommendation number 1 is that the registration of practitioners, including engineers, architects, builders, building designers, and it is so important that this is implemented, because what it makes is it makes these people accountable for all their actions.
We've obviously seen a lot of new apartments in Sydney in the recent years. How much stress is that putting the system under?
Look, it's an enormous amount of stress. It's an enormous amount of stress on the trades, having to try to finish these buildings at a set time and trying to be ahead of time to try and make money, and the demand. It's the public demand. The consumer demand is there.
So what needs? I'm still not clear about why. I mean, there are tons of buildings, tons of cities all over the world which are throwing up buildings at an incredibly rapid rate and don't have two major incidents within the space of about 7 months. What's different here?
Well, obviously, I think that what we need to see an independent building commission take place, and we're working with government, and the new ministers have assured us that they're going to work with us to ensure that this is going to be implemented and the reforms will take place in the near future. But
given that all these apartments have been built already, those assurances, it's not much comfort to people who are already in buildings that have already been built.
No, that's right. And I mean, I can fully understand the frustration of the people that are there, but we must understand that we have to move forward, but not disregard the past. We have to ensure, and I believe that we should be doing routine inspections of all these buildings that have been built to ensure the safety of all the occupants.
So is that what moving forward looks like for those existing buildings?
Well, moving forward for the existing buildings, it's better to be safe. Like I said before, you can repair a building, but you can't replace a life.
Chris, I understand that, but I don't understand why we're at this juncture. Why is the choice between repairing a building and why are we talking about life-threatening situations of regular people who've just moved into their apartments and don't expect that that's going to be a life-threatening situation? Sure, yeah, okay, well, yes, let's evacuate them. Okay, we all agree that they're going to be evacuated. We want to keep them safe. Why are they in that position to begin with?
Well, this is the problem, because we need reforms. We need the building industry has been too lazy over too many years to be able to have these stringent processes in place of accountability. There's been a total lack of accountability. There's many practitioners out there that don't even require PI insurance to practice, and part of these reforms, implementing the Shergold Weir report, the 24 recommendations will make massive changes in the industry. And this is national, this is not just a state-based issue.
The New South Wales government, after the Opal Tower debacle, announced a crackdown on dodgy building certifiers. What do certifiers do, and what needs to change in that area?
Okay, people put the blame on the certifier, but a certifier really is certifying the documentation. They're basically going through the process to ensure that all the documentation you have from the engineers and everything is ticked off.
So an oversight. An
oversight. So it's they are not a person that can go there and look at something and say that's built wrong. Yes, they might have some knowledge, but they're not they can't be the ones to blame for that.
So they're relying on all of the other processes that have happened.
So they're relying on the certificate from the engineer, and so the engineer ticks a box. Then you got the waterproofing, and you can see that in New South Wales it's a debacle with the waterproofing, but yet we still get waterproofing ticked off. So we need to have independent people looking at the projects, and not just 2 or 3 little processes along the way. I believe that every trade should be checked on completion and tick the box and move on. So everyone is then accountable for their actions.
Do you expect more problems like this to come?
I hope not. I have a feeling that we will see more problems. But I believe that, you know, with the current government and the new ministers, you know, assuring me that they will be meeting with us to implement reform in the not too distant future.
Chris, we really appreciate you coming in. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for having me.